You pay taxes before you even see your paycheck. But some billionaires can become billions of dollars richer in a single year and pay little or no income tax. How is that possible? Are they cheating? Using secret offshore accounts? Breaking the law? No. What's shocking is that they're often following the rules exactly as written. And once you understand how the system works, you'll realize that most people have been thinking about wealth completely wrong. Let's break it down. Section 1. The biggest myth about billionaires. Most people think billionaires have giant bank accounts filled with cash. That's not how it works. If a billionaire is worth $100 billion, they usually don't have $100 billion sitting in a bank. Most of their wealth exists on paper. It's tied up in stocks, companies, and assets. And this is where the tax story begins. Because the government generally doesn't tax wealth that only exists on paper. At least not until it's sold. Remember that. It's important. Section 2. The rule nobody talks about. Imagine you buy a stock for $100. A few years later, it's worth $1,000. You've made $900. But have you actually made money? Legally, not yet. Because you haven't sold it. This is called an unrealized gain. And unrealized gains are one of the most powerful concepts in finance. A billionaire's fortune can increase by billions of dollars. But if they don't sell their shares, there may be no taxable gain to report. This is why wealth and income are not the same thing. Most people are taxed on income. The ultra-wealthy often grow wealth through assets. Section 3. The hidden fact that surprises everyone. Now here's where things get really interesting. Let's say you're worth billions. You need cash. Most people would sell something. But selling can trigger taxes. So what do many wealthy people do? They borrow. Banks may lend against valuable assets. The billionaire gets access to cash. Keeps ownership of the asset. And borrowing itself is generally not taxable income. Think about how crazy that sounds. One person works for money. Another person borrows against wealth. And both end up with spending power. But the tax consequences can be very different. Section 4. The fact that changes everything. Here's something most people never realize. The richest people in history didn't become rich from salaries. Not even close. The biggest fortunes were built through ownership. Owning businesses. Owning stock. Owning assets. That's why many CEOs who earn modest salaries compared to their net worth can still become dramatically richer every year. Their assets are working while they sleep. This is one reason wealth inequality can grow over time. Assets tend to appreciate. And asset owners benefit the most. Section 5. The debate. Critics argue this system favors the wealthy. They say workers pay taxes every year, while large fortunes can grow for years before taxes are due. Supporters disagree. They argue that taxing unrealized gains would create massive problems. What if an asset rises one year and crashes the next? Should people pay taxes on money they never actually received? It's one of the most controversial questions in modern economics. And there is still no consensus. So do billionaires really pay less tax than you? The answer depends on what you're measuring. Income? Capital gains? Or growth in wealth? But here's the real takeaway. The wealthy often play a completely different financial game. Most people focus on earning money. The ultra-wealthy focus on owning assets. And understanding that difference might be one of the most valuable financial lessons you'll ever learn. Because in the world of money, ownership often beats income.